Hello to you once again. What we have in front of us is a problem that appeared in Morphy's Games of Chess, published in January 1859. And the second part of the book, which was written by Thomas Frère, is FRÈRE'S problem competition from New York at that time. Now, a lot of famous composers competed in this, and this is no exception. In fact, I have already put a couple of problems on a few months back from this competition, and very good they were. Well, what I'm going to do is to put a selection of more of those Frère problems on. This first one is white to checkmate in 3 moves. Now, this is by the great Sam Loyd, who was noted for being an expert in being able to come up with some really testing ones. And this is rather fiendishly difficult. If you look at this, just take a close-up where there's nothing happening on the king side, so we don't really need to concern ourselves too much with that. Just take a look here, and can you see the key move? It is not obvious. Well, what we're wanting to do here is we're wanting to force black to move his king, really. Forcing him to move his rook as well as part of it, but primarily we want to set the test and say to black, we're going to let you move that king. And the way to do that, yes, the key move is the very quiet king c2. Now this looks pretty strange, really, when you look at it, because black has 2 moves here with his king. Let's consider them. The obvious one, of course, is to take the pawn. So what happens? White is in check from the rook. But just note that with taking this pawn, the rook is now pinned. So this enables white to play here. Now, this doesn't look that threatening, but the more you look at it, the more you can see, well, of course it is threatening, isn't it? Because white is controlling key squares. Now, black has no move with his rook or 2 pawns. He has to move that king. Where can he put it? Well, he can capture this pawn. What happens then? Well, then white captures the rook. Checkmate. So that is no good, is it? And the other move, he plays here. So what does white do? Well, again, he captures the rook, and that is checkmate as well. The knight is doing a wonderful job covering a2 and a4. That's why king c2 is such a good move there. It is absolutely the key move. So let's put this back for a moment. That is the starting position again, and we have decided that this is the key move. We've tried king takes b4. What about king b5? Discovered check. Now, the rook is not pinned this time. So how does he deal with it? What does he do? Well, this is most amazing. He just plays here. And black is poleaxed. He cannot do a thing. Just look at it. He can't move his king anywhere. He can't move his pawns. He has to move his rook. Now, if he gives check like this, yes, the knight comes to c3 again. And it's checkmate that way. Okay, supposing he moves the rook anywhere else other than giving check. In other words, if he moves it anywhere down here, or he moves it like this, for instance, what do we do then? Well, that's checkmate, isn't it? Isn't that wonderful? So we'll just go back for the final variation. That is the starting position again, and we play here. So, okay, the king doesn't move. Instead, the rook moves. This is the obvious move here. So what do we do in that position? How do we deal with that? Well, what we do here, of course, is we play knight b2 check. That's the simple answer to that one. Where does he go? Well, if he goes here, just look at that. That's checkmate, isn't it? If he goes here, we're back to Queen B8 check, mate again, because he's covering the pawn on the other side of the king. Really neat. And if he takes the pawn, well, he'd love to take the pawn, wouldn't he? But he can't because he'd be in check. That is the end of this game, and that is a wonderful problem by Sam Loyd. It's a wonderful way of kickstarting this series of problems. I hope you enjoyed it, and goodbye for now.